Dog Works Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
You can support this podcast on patreon.com/First Paw Media.
There's joy in learning. Remember that excited feeling you get when you master a new skill? Dogs feel the same way. Their desire to learn something new and to do it with you, their favorite human in the whole world, is at the heart of dog training. With us as their guide, our dogs can learn great skills that they can use throughout their lifetime. Skills that keep them safe and help them interact with the world in happy and healthy ways. While we sometimes hear training referred to as obedience training, the process isn't so much about teaching your dog to do something as it is helping your dog to learn something. And that learning relationship starts with trust. Research shows us that dogs develop a trusting relationship with their dog parents through shared activities such as going for exploration walks, playing games, and playing with toys, meeting new friends together, human and canine, and, learning new skills.
From First Paw Media, sponsored by Alaska Dog Works Professional Canine Training Center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is Dog Works Radio, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert and Michele Forto.
Hello and welcome to Dog Works Radio. This is your host, Michele Forto, and I am the lead trainer of Alaska Dog Works, where we help owners and their dogs have better relationships. Did you know that January is National Train Your Dog Month? Also, we just kicked off our year-long Daily Dog series. It is going to be a big deal. Every day, we will be sharing a breed of the day, tips and tricks, special series, podcast videos, unique content on each social channel, and much more. No matter where you spend your time, just search for the hashtag Daily Dog and do us a favor and share your pictures too using the same tag. On today's podcast, we are talking about why training your dog is so important. Let's kick it off with positive reinforcement works best. Science tells us that most effective training method, or better yet, learning method, is positive reinforcement-based training. Simply put, positive reinforcement involves adding reinforcer, something your dog loves, after your dog does a behavior you want. By providing your dog a reinforcer immediately after he does the desired behavior, like sit, your dog is more likely to do the behavior again and again. If he does, voila, a behavior becomes learned. Zazie Todd, PhD and author of WAG, The Science of Making Your Dog Happy, endorses positive reinforcement and positive reinforcement training as the best ways to create a good relationship with your pet. While you may hear the term obedience or obedience training used to talk about training a dog to understand basic cues and learn new skills, that term can sometimes imply using punishment or corrections to get a dog to obey, versus teaching or encouraging a dog to make choices. Using punishment is never advised when working with a dog, no matter their age or breed. When you're investigating training resources, look for programs that specifically use the term positive reinforcement and detail how they utilize it. Unfortunately, some trainers claim to use positive reinforcement, but still use harsh methods too. There's a lot of information about training that is very old-fashioned and very outdated, Todd says. Punishment such as yelling at your dog instills fear, not trust in your pet. Todd cites studies that indicate punishment-based training methods can result in behavior problems for dogs. Training isn't so much about teaching your dog to do something as it is helping your dog to learn something. DIY or get dog training help. There are lots of ways to teach your dog new skills. Generally speaking, the cost of training depends on the level of personalized attention you and your dog want, as well as the location and the individual trainer's usual fee. There are many wonderful and economical books, videos, and websites that can help you follow a do-it-yourself training regimen. If you find that you need more support, getting involved in a class or hiring a trainer might be the best choice for you and your dog. Here are some options to consider. You can do it yourself at home following dog training books, videos, or websites. There are many great websites that offer free tutorials, handouts, and resources like clickertraining.com and ispeakdog.org. You can take your dog to a public training class, which is also a great way to socialize your pet. On average, classes run about $100 to $200 for a 6 or 7 week class, 1 hour per week, depending on the trainer and the location. You can take an online class. Expect to pay $30 to $100 per hour or per class. You can hire a dog trainer or private lessons to work with you and your dog. Cost is anywhere between $75 to $300 or more an hour. Depending on the trainer, this is typically the most expensive option, but may be the best for dogs that need a little extra attention. You can enroll your dog in positive-based train and play day camps at boarding facilities or training centers. Prices will vary greatly depending on the length of the training program, if they are private sessions, and how old your dog is. Here is a pro tip. A more expensive dog trainer or program isn't necessarily better. The dog training industry is unregulated, and prices don't always equate to quality. Also, steer clear of anyone that advertises results guaranteed or fast results promised. Quality dog training takes time and patience. There are no miracle programs or trainers. The cool thing about dog training is that you are also training yourself to interact with your dog in a positive, relationship-building way. Like all things, in order to be successful, both you and your dog need to put some time into the relationship. Todd recommends working with your dog every day. Make it into a fun event, she says. And I couldn't agree more. One of the best things I tell my clients is to do exactly what Todd just suggested herself. Work with your dog every single day. What are some really important things to teach? Well, basic training involves teaching your dog cues, where your dog listens to what you say and responds. While dogs are very smart and can learn to do many things, square dance, jump through hoops, gather up sheep, there are a few skills that are necessary for daily life. Your dog's name is one of the most important things that you can ever teach your dog. This seems pretty obvious, but it's really common for dogs to not actually know their name or to only respond to it in certain contexts. You know, I worked with a dog named Stubbs today, and he exhibits exactly this problem. He knows his name, but he chooses when and how he wants to listen to it. So the moment you bring a pup home, be sure to build a solid understanding of their name. This can be done simply by pairing their name with a tasty treat. Say their name, and if they turn towards you, treat. Be sure to never use their name when you are frustrated or think they did something wrong. Doing so will teach them that responding to their name may result in getting into trouble. Also, be sure you do not overuse their name. Doing so may result in them ignoring it, kind of like Stubbs does. Focus. Basic training often starts with teaching your dog to focus on you. Teaching your dog to focus or to pay attention is a crucial skill that's needed each time you want to teach your dog a new skill. But it's also needed when you go for walks, hang out at the local park, or decide to participate in public training classes. This often looks like teaching your dog to respond to the cue, watch me, or look. Be sure to check out Lori Luck's video on paying attention if you need more help. Coming when called. To come when called is important for the dog's safety, Todd says, and for the safety of others, she adds. We know that when dogs are lost for more than 24 hours, it's really traumatic for them. Be sure you build a solid understanding of come as a cue. If your dog doesn't respond the first one or two times you say come, don't continue to repeat it. Repeating the cue over and over will only teach your dog that they only need to come when you say the word multiple times. Check out positively.com for some good tips on teaching your dog come. Leave it. Todd also considers the cues leave it or drop it important. If your dog finds something he shouldn't eat, this will make him stop, she says. The leave it cue involves teaching your dog to ignore or leave alone things they find on the ground or surfaces. When your dog ignores the undesirable thing, like your trash, you can reward them with a delicious treat they can have. Be sure not to give the treat or food item they were told to leave as their reward. The item to be left and the reinforcer you give should be different. Sit and down. Of course, other basic skills like sit and down are great tools to use every day. A good solid down on cue will also turn into opportunities to teach your dog to settle, calm down, onto a mat or a rug, and it can help them focus during other learning sessions, and you can build these basic skills into tricks too. Body handling. Regular handling, petting, and touching of the ears and paws of your pet is important, Todd says. From puppyhood on, your dog should regularly be handled everywhere on their body so they don't become sensitive to any part touched, especially their ears or feet. It's a life skill, Todd says. It will be particularly important when your dog is being examined by a veterinarian or handled by a groomer. If your dog has any issues with handling or touching any areas of the body, it's a good idea to consult with a trainer or behavior expert that can help your dog to learn to love being handled. Reward with food. Because reinforcers are the key to training with positive reinforcement, you want to have highly desired treats close by. These are often called high-value treats because they are something your dog loves. My favorite go-to treats are little tiny pieces of chicken, Todd says. It's a step up from their regular kibble. Most dogs are food motivated, but certain cues may require a high-value treat when it comes to training a behavior like getting a dog to come when called up the treat factor, Todd says. So what do you guys think? Will you use any of these tips with your dog? Remember to be sure and follow us on our social channels and use and tag your posts with hashtag #DailyDog. Let's kick off something big together. Oh, and one last thing. Did you know the single best thing you can do is tell your family and friends about our show? Let them know how you listen, and who knows, maybe they will become rabid listeners just like you. I'm Michele Forto for DogWorks Radio and First Paw Media. See you next time.
From First Paw Media, this is DogWorks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michele Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.
Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michele Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.